Well, this is Ron Holle with ACLENet, African Centers for Lightning and Electromagnetics Network. We are having a progress report here at ICLP and SIPDA. I'm presenting this on behalf of Dr. Marianne Cooper, who is the Managing Director, Richard Chemareri from Uganda, who is a Relationships Manager, and all three of us are on the Executive Committee. The mission statement of ACLENet is to decrease deaths and injuries and property damage from lightning across Africa. Activities include protecting schools, we'll talk a lot about that, public and professional education, and research and documentation. The motivation for ACLENet was the event at Rinyanya School in Uganda in June 2011. It's now been 10 years. There was a major event to commemorate this unfortunate event. There were 18 children were killed and 38 were injured. Here's the pictures of some of the survivors being treated minimally. The initial research showed that 90% of the sub-Saharan dwellings are not lightning safe. They often have mud brick walls with roofs of only thatch in this photo from Uganda, from Zambia, or with sheet metal. And so families and farmers and workers and students are at risk continually. An earlier compilation of events showed that there were a lot of schools involved. Here we see some cases from around the time of the event in 2011, but also other ones. You see that many of these events had large numbers of students killed or injured. I did a review for the American Meteorological Society annual meeting a few months ago and found from 2007 to 2020 that schools are by far the most common reported locations of lightning fatalities in Uganda. 55 events with at least one person killed or injured. Compared to everything else, this is much more than anything else. Part of the reason this is being reported is probably due to the fact that typically there are more than one person involved, unfortunately. And another one is that it certainly is something we don't like to see, that being in a school. Additional reasons that it would be a good idea to protect schools, that they're the most substantial building in many of these villages and communities, and they actually are a community center. They're used often, day and night, 7 days a week. And if these are protected properly, they can provide a lightning safe place for other community members. At this point, the school projects that ACLENet has completed or has in progress are these green diamonds that were completed with Dane Africa a few years ago. There were 3 schools done with the Ludwig Family Foundation, for which we're very grateful. These were completed at Rockview, Pellebec, and Shimon. And at the present time, we're working on Mongoyo, which is being done with a private company donating materials and installation. We'll talk about that later. And there's actually another possibility for Cape Electric in India to do another location. Now, we recognize that around Kampala and Entebbe, which is the largest population areas, some of the buildings are a little bit better built and may have some protection from lightning. Many of them probably don't. So when we're doing a school under ACLENet, we engage the local population. The men are very willing to go out and dig these 1 meter deep trenches to install the grounding wires to be connected to the down conductors. This is heavy, hard work, and they're very willing to do it. There's also been a lot of educational seminars, varying success in this, but their efforts have been with teachers, school district officials, and community leaders. Here's one of them at the dedication of a school that was protected last year. One of the more remarkable developments is the Lightning Protection Working Group, LPWG. It's a design team that has people from all over the world, who are all volunteers from South Africa, Denmark, the US, and Uganda. And we've been having weekly meetings since November 2018. And the issue is that lightning protection problems are being addressed that no one has considered before. How to handle thatched roof, how to handle rudimentary windows and electrical connections. Also, it's best the LPWG tries to find local materials when possible, but they need to fit the international standards. Another activity of ACLENet was in 2019, we put out 2 newspaper inserts, which went out in the tens of thousands of copies. And these actually ended up being distributed to schools for posting on the walls and used in classrooms. They're newspaper sheets that fold out. Another outreach is the monthly newsletter. And this is a sample from a few months ago. This has an update on fundraising, on activities. Unfortunately, every month there are deaths and injuries and damages to animals and other facilities. So that's available online. You can sign up for it anytime, and you'll receive it into your email. Another area is professional education. In Africa, particularly in Southeast Africa, including Uganda, regional science teachers are not very well or at all trained in lightning. So we have plans and have attempted to train district teachers in lightning science and lightning safety. And part of it is to try to put down these traditional beliefs in witchcraft and curses, which are very common. And also they could help if we can organize this properly, gather data on local injuries to get a better database. We'd also want to work with the people that design this installation lightning protection schools at schools with lightning protection online programs that are available, or we can make them available online, or at least at low cost. And the design approach is to use international standards and adapt them to the unusual situations that they're in Uganda. We also maintain a lightning injury report database. And this is the email address on the website. I just took a little clip out of the countries. It's probably the most extensive online database, certainly in Africa, anywhere in the world. And we have entries now for 33 of the 55 countries in Africa. You can just see there's at least one entry for each of these countries, and this is just the middle part. So in conclusion, the event that happened in 2011 was in Renania School, and this is a quote from the head teacher, or what we call principal in the United States. Their enrollment went down 600 down to 400. Once the lightning protection was installed, their enrollment has gone back up to 1,200 as the families feel safe sending their children to school. And thank you for your attention.